your first lesson for precisely your parabola. Your parabola is created when you cut through your conic section, your cone, with a plane that is parallel to the plane tangent to the cone. What does it mean? If you have, let's say, a cone, such as this one, if you cut through using a plane that is parallel now to this plane, kita nyo? This one, this is parallel to each other. Your cutting plane now would be this one. You'll see na you were able to create your parabola. So that one would be your parabola. Kita nyo? Again, if you cut using a plane that is parallel to the plane tangent to the cone, you'll be able to create now your parabola. And remember, this conic section, your parabola, its eccentricity is equal to 1. Which means now, in other words, this is now a collection of points or a locus of points which are equidistant from a fixed point to a fixed line. What does it mean? So for instance, if you have this parabola, and let's say we use point P, this is point P with the location at x comma y, you have to remember now that the distance from the vertex papunta to your directrix, this is your directrix. From your ellipse, your directrix will always be the line that is directly nasa likod ni vertex. Tama? Again, your directrix will always be directly nasa likod ni vertex. Nasabtan? This one would be your vertex. Clear? The distance now from the vertex papunta to your directrix is denoted as P. Klaro? P units. Nasabtan? And also the distance, that P units, would be as well the distance from the vertex to the focus of your parabola. So these units, nadiri karon imuhang focus. So this is P units as well. So if you try to reflect, again, what's your focus? Asa lang siya malukit? Your focus now would be kung asaan ang opening sa imuhang parabola. Same with your ellipse, di ba? So in short, your focus now would be at this point. This is your focus. And the line that is directly perpendicular to your focus is known as what? Your, masa na line? Kani? This line would be what? Your latus rectum. Sabay? Now, if you want to get the location of your focus, what would be its coordinates? What would be the location of your focus? You check. What's the x coordinate? P units. Kita nyo? This is P units. What about its y coordinate? Isa ka siya from the origin or wala? Wala. So in short, this is what? 0. Sabay? Now, if I want to create the equation of my directrix, what would be its equation? This is a vertical line. Is it x equals or y equals? X equals what? X equals, from the origin papunta to this one, ilang units? P units. But this time is negative. So this is x equals negative. Nasabtan? So that one would be the equation of your directrix. Now, if you try to go back to this one, what does it mean lang is that the distance from your point to the focus is just equal daw to what? The distance from your point papunta to your directrix. So this one would be equal to this one. But in drawing, hindi siya equal. But mathematically, they are equal to each other. Kaya, we have your equation that FP is equal to SP. Nakasabay? And if you derive that one, you'll get the standard equation for your parabola. Let's do that. If I want to create an equation for your FP, this would be this one. Tama? And if you can see, naatay triangle, yes or no? Na, di ba? So this one would be your triangle. from your point P papunta to the x-axis, ilang units yan? Ilang units? From 0, di ba? Your y-coordinate, umakyat ng ilang units? Ayaw iha pa. General lang ta. Y units. Kita nyo? So this is just simply y. Nasabdan? How about this one? Ang x-coordinate na to. From this point, papunta to your focus. From point P, papunta to your focus. Ilang units? That would be P units minus x. Kita nyo? Uy. Again, this is P units. We subtract with x units. Therefore, ang leg is simply what? P minus x. And if I want to get this one, what do I do? I'll use your Pythagorean theorem. Tama? That is what? P minus x squared plus y squared. Square root. Makasabay? Let's do that. So this is the square root of P minus x squared plus what? Y squared. Nakasabay? That's your length FP. Nasabtan? Nakasabay mo ito? Okay. How about SP? The distance from your point P papunta to your directrix. How would I write that one? Ilang units na siya? From point P papunta to your directrix. Check. That would be x units plus what? Plus P. So kani, the distance from that point papunta to this point is simply what? P plus x. Kita nyo? So we can equate this one with P plus x. Questions? Yes. Dili. We just use the length lang dun. The negative denotes now the location. Nasabtan na it's to the left of the origin. Taro? Let's continue. If I want to reach this one, kanina level, from this point papunta to this point, I'll have to what? Manipulate. Taro? How do I do that? Ako yung square root. Because wala yung square root. I can cancel out my square root by what? Raising everything to squared. So what happens? Kani mag-cancel out. If I expand this one, I'll get what? This is P squared, tama? Minus 2px plus x squared plus y squared equals. Nakasabay with what happened? How about this one? Remember, we squared everything to 2. So this one would be what? P plus x quantity squared. And I can expand that one, correct? So what happens? This becomes P squared plus 2px plus x squared. Now inspect. If ever you have this one, two terms with the same sign, matik, what happens? They cancel out. If you transpose P squared to the other side, it becomes negative P squared. I'll get what? P squared minus P squared. So they cancel out. Nasabtan? So kani cancel. How about kinsa pa? X squared. So this one cancels out as well. Nasabtan? So if you simplify this one, I'll get what? Y squared is equal to, you transpose 2px, negative 2px to the other side, I'll get what? Positive 2px plus 2px, kaya I'll get 4px. So out of that definition, that the distance from your point to focus is equal lang now to what? The distance of that point to the directrix. Nasabtan? So out of that equation, or premise, we're able to get now the standard equation for your parabola. Questions? Wala? Now remember this one. The distance from your focus to the end of your latus rectum is given as 2p. Again, the distance from your focus papunta to the end of your latus rectum is given as 2p. And we know for a fact that your parabola is what? Symmetrical, correct? So whatever point you have here, matik na apod siya sa ikas. Yes or no? Do you agree? Diba? Your parabola is symmetrical with respect to an axis. So for that case, if this is 2p, what can you say about sa ibaba? This is 2p as well. So the other end of your latus rectum papunta to your focus is just 2p. Kaya you have this one, that the length of the latus rectum is equal to what? 4p. Nasabtan? So the important elements that you have to remember for your parabola are the following. The distance from the focus papunta to the end of your latus rectum is given as 2p. And so the total length of your latus rectum would be what? 4p. The distance from the vertex papunta to the directrix is given as what? P. And same as well as now, the distance from the vertex papunta to what? Your latus rectum is also P as well. Kasabtan? Now, question. Ano lang ba ang possible orientation of your parabola? Yes or no? If no, kasama na yung others. You can actually have what? If we have an opening to the right, we can also have what? An opening to the left. Tama? Asa may other possible orientation? Pwede po upward or downward, no? So, pwede ana ato ang parabola. Also, we cannot discount the fact that pwede po siya gilid, no? But for the case of this course, we'll only isolate ourselves on the following. Upward, downward, left, and right. Klaro? So that would be your standard equation. But of course, we have different orientations. So we'll meet your various standard equations for the parabola. I erase this one na. Okay. Let's have your first setup. Given that your vertex is at the origin, tama? 0, 0. So if let's have your Cartesian plane, your vertex would be asaan? Dito, tama? F is at P, 0. Asa man ang location na nakaroon? P, 0. To the left, to the right, nasa taas, nasa ibaba of your vertex. Nasa, you check, P, 0. Your x coordinate is P units, therefore dire. So in short, your focus is at this location. Nasabtan? Now check, directrix at x equals negative P. When you say x equals negative P, vertical or horizontal line? Vertical line. And this is negative P units from the y-axis. Therefore, we move negative P to the left. This one would be your directrix. So if that's the case, what's your opening? To the left, to the right, up or down? To the right. No, kay mate, kung natin yung vertex, dili pwede na imong opening to the directrix. Masabtan, will always now pa dito. And your focus will always be at the opening. Taro? So for that case, your parabola will have this. And you can generalize that one using this given equation. That is what? Y squared is equals to 4px. Nakasabot? Again, what's your 4p here? Your 4p would be the length of your latus rectum, or in shortcut. Okay? Let's have the other one. How do you distinguish the two? If it's negative, or say pasabot na karon, it will be to the left. So if we try to understand the given conditions, your origin is at the your vertex is at the origin. Your focus daw is asaan? Negative P, 0. So in short, your focus is nasa left side. Mati, kung natin yung focus, dito dyan ang opening. Correct? So you can sketch that one now as sabay? Your directrix would be at what? X equals P. That would be P units to the right of your vertex. Kaya, we'll have your directrix such this way. Accepted? Now, you can make sense as well. If you're given the equation y squared equals 4px, if dili makaya ni-memorize, you can make sense. How? With one value of x, you'll see now that you'll have two values of y. Ano? You'll get square root of 4px. And we know your square root will have what? Two values, correct? That will be plus, minus. So this is just simply what? Plus, minus the square root of 4px. Tanawa, if I'll have, let's say, a value of x, let's say positive 1, I'll get two values of y. Kita nyo? Nasabtan? So that's the logic behind your parabola. Isa ka value ni x, you'll get two values of y. Positive and negative. Kita nyo? same with this one. If I'll have negative 4px here, and I'll get now the square root of your y squared. So y is equals now to the square root of negative 4px. We know for a fact na bawal ni mag-negative sa sulod. Correct? So in short, you have to make sure na kani mag-positive. Kita nyo? Why do I do that? By inputting any negative values. Kaya your graph now will look like this. Kita nyo? So that kung tayo, if you have, let's say, negative 1, I'll get what? Negative 4, p times negative 1, you'll get positive 4. So that's the square root of 4. Nakita nyo? So for that case, you'll still get two values, positive and negative. Kaya you have positive, negative. Nasabtan? Questions? Wala? And of course, you have now your last two standard equation, which are what? Does this make sense, this one as well? You have your partition plane. Your vertex is at the origin, correct? Now check. Your focus is at 0, p. Ang sa'yo meaning na? Sa taas, sa ibaba, sa left or sa right of your vertex. Check. Your P is at the y coordinate, which means nasa itaas ni vertex. So this one will be your focus. Klaro? So if na mong focus nila, your opening would be what? Upward as well. So this one now would be your parabola. Nasabtan? How about your directrix? Asang location? Your directrix now is at y equals negative b. So that's already your hint na nasa ibaba, no? Your horizontal line. This one now would be your directrix. Klaro? You can make sense pa rin to. That is what? X is equals to the square root of 4py. In matic, if you have a square root, nakatay ka values, correct? Plus, minus. And that's why you'll see now, with one value of y, you'll get what? Two values of x, both positive and negative. Nasabtan? Same with this one. The moment we see negative, if we know for a fact that this is upward, kung negative, what happens? We reverse. I will get negative or downward na parabola. So for that case, pwede siya mo. Okay? Nakasabot? Questions? Question. What happens if the vertex is no longer at the center? How would I write the equation? We use now the fact that your vertex will be located at h, k. So same with your ellipse and your circle, we just introduce now x minus h, y minus k. It will always be that pairing. X is to h, y is to k. And that's why we have the following standard equation. But if you can observe, if the location of your vertex is at that origin, what happens to your standard equation? Mubalik siya sa original katong ipakita na ko, di ba? If k is 0, if h is 0, what we get is y squared equals 4px. So in short, and I suggest, kanina nyo remember. Except that, if you know this one, you just manipulate na k and h is 0. You'll still get the first set of equations that I have introduced. Except that, you must do this one. Okay? So your last two sets of equation would be this one. Questions, clarifications with your standard equations? Wala? Okay, let's have your sample problems. Yes? Wala? Okay. Locate the vertex, the focus, and ends of the latus rectum, and find the equation of the directrix. Then draw the parabola whose equation is x squared equals 16y. So if you have this kind of problem, you capitalize on the fact that your 16 is what? Your 4p. Okay, remember, the equation would be what? X squared equals 4py. Tama? So for that case, we know now that 4p is just equals to what? 16. If I'll get 2p, this is equal to what? 8. If I'll get p, this is just equal to what? 4. Now let's generalize. Masama ni sila. Your 4p is what? This is the length of your latus rectum. What is 2p? 2p is the distance from your focus to one end of your latus rectum. So this is from focus to what? The end of latus rectum. Nakasabay? How about your p? Your p is what? The distance from what? Vertex to your directrix, and the distance from vertex towards your focus. So vertex to focus and vertex to what? Directrix. Nasabay? Inspect. Where's your vertex? Your vertex is located at which point? Asa? At the origin. 0, 0. Di ba wala siya minus or plus? X minus, Y minus, wala. Wala. So in short, your vertex is at the origin. So in that case, your origin would be at this one. Now, question. Is it upward, downward, leftward, sideward? Nga naman. X squared equals 16y, no? So with one value of y, you get two values of x. So isa ka value ni y, you get two values of x. So you can estimate now na paano siya ito. Okay? So if you want to identify now the location of your focus, man ang focus na ito karon. We add what? We add 8. Tama? From vertex to focus, we add 4 units. Upward, downward, asa ang focus? If this is your vertex, your focus would be asaan? Sa itaas. Because we know for a fact na asa, opening upward ka. Let's use by 2s na lang, no? Kay 8 man lang isa. So 2, 4. So your focus now would be asaan? This is at 0, positive 4. Your vertex is at 0, 0. Therefore, the location of your focus is at 0, sabay? Now, if I want to identify the coordinates of my ends of latus rectum, what do I do? What do I do if I want to get the location of my latus rectum? Ends of the latus rectum. We add what? 8. Aha ko mag-add. To the left, to the right, or pasaka, or pababa? To the left and right. Because we know your latus rectum would be perpendicular to your focus. Sabay? So we add 8 units. So 2, 4, 6, 8. And this one now would be the one end of my latus rectum located at which point? Negative 4? Negative 8. Nag-by 2s ba ito, diba? So this is negative 8, what? 4. On the other hand, we do the same, tama? So we add 8 units. 2, 4, 6, 8. And this one now would be the other end of my latus rectum. Location would be what? 8, 4. If you connect these points, you'll get what? Your latus rectum. So this one would be my latus. Okay? And if I connect these 3 points, I'll get what? My parabola. This one would be your questions. So your latus rectum, ang location niya asaan? Negative 8, 4 and positive 8, 4. What's left? Find the equation of the directrix. If I want to locate my directrix, what do I do again? From vertex to directrix, ilang units daw? 4. So we go E units, that is equal to what? 4. Asa ang equation? Ganino? This one would be my directrix. And how would I write this one in equation? This is y equals negative 4. And this one I will write. Questions? Nasabtan? Clarifications? Wala? 5 minutes, you try to answer this one. Locate the vertex and so on for the parabola. Fast inspect. Opening which direction? Up, side, or down? With one value of x, you get two values of y. So either paana. Pero na may negative. So yes, to the left. 3. Okay. Let's have your parabola. Y minus 2 squared equals negative 3 quantity of x minus 1. Again, your negative 8 here is what? This is your what? This is your negative 4p. No? This is negative 4p1. I'll have negative 4p is equals to what? Negative 8. If I want to solve for 2p, I'll get what? Positive 4. Tama? What is now your p? Your p is equal to 2. Your vertex is located at which point? Positive 1 and positive 2. If this was positive, that's the time we'll have negative. Tama? So this one is the simply what? 1, comma. So your vertex is located at positive 1, positive 2. What's our assumption? Opening? Left. No? For that case, I'll get what? 2 values of y with 1 value of x. Negative man is, so we'll only have negative values either pa left or pa left ng siya. Accepted? So if I want to locate my focus, what do I do? My vertex is located at 1, 2. Therefore, my focus, I'll just add ilang units? I'll add 2 units. So from positive 1, I'll move 2 units. My focus is located at which point? This is at negative 1, 2. Again, add 2 units lang. Or add p units. So my focus is at negative 1, positive 2. Nakasabay? Okay. What's next? If I want to locate the ends of my latus rectum, what do I do? I'll add what? I'll add 2p, or that is 4 units. Asaan? Pasaka, pababa, or pa left, or pa right? Pa both, pa, saka, o pababa. So one end of my latus rectum would be 4 units. Tama? 1, 2, 3, 4. This one. Location would be at which point? This is at negative 1, positive 6. We repeat the same process. We go downwards. 4 units. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this one is at negative 1, what? Negative 2. So if I'll connect those points, I'll have my latus rectum. Kasabay? If I connect these 3 points, I'll get what? My parabola. Okay? What's my last element? My directrix. Ilang units from your vertex? 2 units or 3 units. So for that case, I'll have 1, 2. And that one would be my directrix. Vertical or horizontal line? Vertical line. So I'll have this. This is my directrix with an equation of what? Y or X? X. That is ilang units from the origin. This is what? X is equals to 2. You count 1, 2, 3. That is 3 units away from the origin. So 3 units. Okay? Therefore, my latus rectum is at x equals 3. My ends of latus rectum are what? Negative 1, 6, and negative 1, negative 2. Questions? Yes. Negative 8 divided by negative 4. Positive. Okay? Questions? Wala? Clarifications? None? Wala na? Okay, let's solve your last sample problem. Okay. Find the equation and draw the general appearance of the parabola with vertex at -1, 4, and y equals 5 as the directrix. May I erase the writings na? Okay. Let's sketch first. Vertex asan? -1, +4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This one. This is your vertex at -1, +4. Now you have your directrix now. What's the equation? Y equals 5. Vertical or horizontal line? Vertical, horizontal line? This is a horizontal line. Asan ang y equals 5 now? You count 5 units away from the x-axis. Kaya I'll have this one as my directrix. Now, if your directrix is naa diri what does it imply? That your parabola is opening downwards. Kaya yun siya directrix ni. But if the problem stated that y equals 5 is the line containing your latus rectum, that's the time we can say na pasaka. Tama? So you read the problem. Klaro? Kamasya yun. This one is your directrix. And we always remember that your directrix will always be nasa likod ni vertex. Therefore, this one is opening downwards. So you can say na paano siya. Okay? Klaro? Questions? Done? Let's try creating now the equation of your parabola. If you have this kind of parabola, what would be your standard equation? This one would be what? X squared or y squared? X squared. So this is x minus h squared equals what? Positive or negative? Negative 4p y minus a. Tama? So, can we create na your equation? Yes or no? Yes, no? That would be what? X minus, what's your x coordinate? Negative 1. So, this is negative times negative 1 or simply positive 1. Nasabay? Is equal now to, what's your p? How do I solve for p? Masan ang p? P would be what? The distance from your directrix papunta to your vertex. So this one is simply your P. And how do I solve for P? That would be the directrix minus your vertex. Kita nyo? So that is simply what? 5 minus 4 or P is simply equal to 1. So for that case, I have what? Negative 4 times 1 or simply negative 4 quantity of what? Y minus, what's your K? Your K is 4. So y minus 2. And this one now would be your general equation. Nasabay? A standard equation. Now question, if I want to rewrite my standard equation to my general equation of the parabola, what do I do ganit? With your circle and your ellipse, sa itong ginabuhat? From general to standard equation, we perform completing the square, di ba? From general to standard. From standard to general equation, we perform what? Binomial expansion. So if you want to rewrite this standard equation to my general equation, I'll just have to perform binomial expansion or FOIL method. So if we do that, I'll get what? X squared plus 2x plus 1 is equals to what? Negative 4y plus 16. And remember, if it's general equation, we transpose everything on one side, we equate it to 0. So I'll get what? X squared plus 2x. You transpose 4y, negative 4y, this becomes what? Positive 4y. 1, you transpose 16 to the other side, becomes negative 16. Plus 1, I'll get negative 15 equals 0. And this one now would be my standard equation, general equation for the said parabola. Nakasabay? Naday. I've met some problems with transposing. Even engineering students ako, ang ginagawa ni supposedly transposing becomes x over 1 equals 5. It's wrong. If you want to transpose, it should be what? X equals y plus 1. If this was written as x times 1 raised to negative 1, that's the time you can do this one. Nasabay? This is wrong. If it was x times 1 raised to negative 1, pwede siya x over 1. Okay? Dili man, minus 1 man. So you transpose mo plus 1 sa kadula. Klaro? Klaro nga na ino. If I want to identify my focus, what would be the location of my focus? Asa ang focus karon? If this is your sketch, nasa baba. But ilang units atong i-move karon from vertex to your focus? Pila? 3 units or simply 1. Therefore, your focus would be at location usa. This is at negative 1, positive 3. Okay? If I want to locate the ends of my latus rectum, what do I do? I'll connect this one, I'll get the coordinates. Tama? This one would be your one end of your latus rectum, location at each point. Asa ko mag-add? To the left, di ba? So in short, I'll add negative 1. Kila akong i-add? 2p, 4p, p. 2p. So in short, plus 2. So from negative 1, mahimo siya negative 3, gamma 3. Okay? The other end of my latus rectum would be located as saan? You add 2 units. Tama? Let's go back. 4, 2 units. So 1, 2. So that is what? 1 and positive 3. Okay? Uy, add lang ha. Ano nang magkakuan? You just add x units. Okay? Questions? Naa? Sa focus ng add. If you want to get your latus rectum, the ends of your latus rectum. Sa graph. You make sense with the graph. Na may mga formula. Pag once anin daw, x plus 2p or x minus 2p. But sometimes, daga na kay equation, handibok na inoon. You just make sense with your drawing. Pero at least yung ginamemorize lang, your standard equation. Nasabtan, the rest are just logic na lang. Plus, minus. Okay? Questions? Wala? Let's proceed to your general equation. Same with your ellipse and your circle, what we do lang is we set boundaries or conditions. No? So, for a parabola, we still use the general equation for your conic sections. If you can observe, itong general equation ko na to, you see only x ang nakasquare, tama? Or sometimes, you can also see na y ang nakasquare. Do you agree? Di ba parabola, it's either cx or cy ang naka-square. For that case, we can say na isa, out of your conic section equation, we set ang isa ka naka-square as 0. So for that case, pwede natin yung nagkaroon that a is equal to 0. And again, same with your ellipse and your circle, we consider in this course that only vertical or horizontal ang orientation. So for that case, di na to ginapa, rotate, and we set b to 0. Klaro? Kaya, if you have this condition, you'll get now your general equation as what? C y squared plus dx plus ey plus f equals 0. But how do we know now that this general equation is actually for a parabola? We can actually do your completing the square. Para from general equation, we can see if mo parehas siya with your standard equation for a parabola. By isolating now with c, so we divide both sides with c para y squared na lang. Kaya I'll get what? Y squared plus d over cx plus e over cy plus f over c equals 0. Same with your circle. These are just constants, numbers naman eh. So d over c is just a constant yapon. So we can set that one now as another arbitrary constant. Let's say y squared plus cx plus dy plus e equals 0. So if I want to transform this one to its standard equation, we just perform completing the square. So y squared and dy, we group them, then we complete the square. So what happens? Y squared plus dy plus d over 2 squared is equal to, we transpose everything to one side. So this becomes what? Negative cx minus e. And remember, whatever you do here, you have to do it on the other side as well. Tama? So I'll have to add plus d over 2 squared. If I continue completing this one, this becomes what? Y plus d over 2 squared is equal to this one. Is generally naka-form na siya upang standard equation, di ba? Y minus k sa pikas x minus h. Napaka-form. So from that case, we've already proven that this one is indeed the general equation for a parabola. You have two setups for that one. Ano lang importante? That's just the derivation. Your general equations would be the following. So pwede na erasing ko lang para na derivation lang. Your first general equation of a parabola is when your parabola is parallel to the x-axis given by this one. cy squared plus dx plus ey plus f equals 0. What does it mean by parallel to the x-axis of parabola? If you have, let's say, a parabola, paane, the axis of symmetry is asaan? This one, correct? The axis of symmetry is your horizontal line. Tama? Tanawa, mirror siya up and down. Tama? This one would be what? Parallel to the x or to the y-axis? To the x-axis. So for that case, if you have this kind of parabola, the general equation would be this one. Such as cy squared plus dx plus ey plus f equals 0. Nakasabay? So in short, si a ang naka 0. Kung gaina ko na to, a is equal to 0. If you have a parabola that is parallel to the y-axis, this one would be this. Kung kanino ang parabola, where's your axis of symmetry? Nasa ani. Tama? So for that case, this is parallel to which axis? To the y-axis. So for that case, your general equation would be in this form. That is what? Ax squared plus dx plus ey plus f is equal to 0. Nasabtan? Questions? Wala? So those would be your general equations for a parabola. Let's have our sample problems. Am I fast? Let's reduce your given general equation. 8x squared plus 64x minus 32y plus 63 equals 0. In the standard form, then draw the curve. How do we reduce your general equation to standard form? We perform completing the square. So this is 8x squared plus 64x minus 32y plus 63 equals 0. How do we complete the square again? Kung kinsa ito naka-square, mo ito atong b over 2, di ba? This time, may parabola, if you can observe, it's either x or y lang ang naka-square. Compared to your circle and ellipse na both naka-squared, correct? So una siguro, medyo nakakalibog with completing the square, kaya sabay ang x o y i-complete the square. So hopefully for this one, isa lang, hindi malibog. Okay? So we group all terms na i-square, si x. So tanang x karon on one side, the rest on the other side. I'll get what? 8x squared plus 64x is equals to what? positive 32y minus 63. How do I complete the square again? I'll factor out first this one, no? So if I factor out 8, what's left? This is x squared plus 8x. And if I want to complete it, what do I do again? B over 2 squared. So I'll add what? 8 over 2 squared equals what? Equals 32y minus 63. Do I stop here? Plus 8 over 2 squared. Do I stop here or like pula? Tama na ni? 8 times so unsa? Times 8. Kaya again, if you were able to do this one, you have to distribute pa 8, correct? So in short, ni add tab what? 8 times 8 over 2 squared. So I have to remove that one. Or else I'm changing the equation. So for that case, I have to add times 8 as well. Kasabtan, para pag once you transpose ang isang bigas, they cancel out. Clear? Okay. What's next? If I want to complete this one, you copy your numerical coefficient. Whatever this one, you divide it by x. Pwede ba? X times x. So x, whatever this one is, you copy. Plus what? Plus 8 over 2 or simply what? 4. Then you square it. So that if you expand it, it will return here. X times x, x squared. X times 4 times 2, 8x. Kita nyo? 4 squared is just the same with this one, correct? 8 over 2 is 4. You square it, that's still 16. So in short, mabalik na siya. Kasabtan, again, kopyahan ang isa. X squared divided by x, you get x. Whatever the value here, muna yung butang direct. Kasabtan, okay? You master your completing the square. Is equal now to what? Equal to net to 32y minus 63 plus, what is 8 over 2 squared? 4 squared, so 16. That is 16 times 8. Ilan? 124, tama? So this is plus 124. Tama ba? Or 128? 128. So what's 128 minus 63? What is 128 minus 63? 65. So 32y minus a plus 65. Now what's the general equation gani of a parabola? Y minus k squared equals 4p x minus h. Tama? Now check. Nothing number diri ah. Wala. So what do I do? Check. Nay, number of. Kita nyo dahil 8. So in short, I'll divide both sides by 8. So that I'll get this one. I'll get x plus 4 squared is equals to what? 1 over 8. Tama? Now, tanawa inong kwan, general equation. Naay number dire kay x. Wala, di ba? Which means I can factor out what? 32. I-force na to karon na si y, 1 lang nagtapos. Clear? So I'll get what? 32 over 8. What's the factor 4? If I'll factor out 32, what's left here? You divide tanan by 32. What's 32y divided by 32? Y. Plus, what is 65 divided by 32? 65 over 30. Can I further simplify 32 over 8? Pila? 8, 16, 24. I'll get 4 times y plus 65 over 32 is equal to what? X plus 4. Questions? Similar na with your third equation, correct? So we'll asa mo vertex now. Your vertex is located at which point?
Negative 4.
Negative 4. Negative 65 over 30. So if we try to plot it, asan siya? 1, 2, 3, 4. What is 65 over 32? Around 2 point something. No? So that would be somewhere here. 1, 2, say be this one. This one now would be your vertex. Clear? Now, if this is your curve, asa siya karon? Open it. With one value of y, you get two values of x. Tama? So, asa siya? Upward, downwards? Upward ko. Okay. Upward, no? So, this one is upward. So, pa dito. Tama? Okay. So, for that case, if I want to identify my directrix, what do I do? Asa ang directrix ako karon? We've established na paakyat siya. So, your directrix is nasa ibaba. And how do I locate your directrix? I'll add what? What's your P? 4? 4 gapon? 1, di ba? 4P is equal to 4. So 2P is equals to what? 2. So P is equals to 1. So if I want to locate the directrix, that would be what? A horizontal line, correct? So equation would be what? Y is equals to, I'll add what? Kay 4 or kay negative 65 over 32? Asa ko mag-add para kay directrix? Sa x coordinate or sa y coordinate? Sa y. So I'll get negative 65 over 32 minus what? Tama? Kaya mababa man ta. Do you agree? Tama? Okay. So this one, we know that negative 1 can be written as what? 32 over 32. Do you agree? Kay 32 over 32 is just 1. Sabay? So if you simplify this one, combining your fraction, your denominator will still be negative at 32. Negative 65 minus 32 pila? Negative 97. Okay? Nakasabay nga na negative 97 over 32. So in short, your directrix, you add 1 unit na, would be somewhere here. With the equation, unsa gani? Y equals negative 97 over 30. Okay? Now, if I want to locate my focus, what do I do? We add plus 1. So, the location of my focus would be, asa ko mag plus 1? X or Y? Sa Y, kay musaka ta. Tama? So, this one would be negative 4, comma, negative 65 over 32 plus 1. And again, I can write 1 as 32 over 32 para mas dali mag-combine o fraction. So therefore, my focus would be located at negative 4. What is negative 65 plus 32? Negative 33 over 32. Okay? So we add 1 unit. So somewhere na diri ato ang focus. Kita na? So this one would be the location of my focus. This is negative 4, negative 33 over 30. Questions? Wala? If I want to get the ends of my latus rectum, what do I do? X plus minus 2. So this one, negative 4, we either add or subtract positive 2. So kung pat left we add negative 2, no? So I'll get your end as what? This is negative 6, comma, negative 33 over 32. That's one end of your latus rectum. Atras tag 2 units, correct? So this one would become what? Negative 2, negative 33 over 30. So this one now would be my latus rectum. Questions? And if I connect this one, I'll have my curve, correct? That would be what? Your parabola. Okay? Questions? Nakasabay with what happened? Clarifications? Uy, people, okay na ba? Let's have number 5. May I raise use the writings na? Find the equation of a parabola with axis parallel to the y-axis and passing through the points negative 1, 3, 2, 1, 0, and negative 3, negative 1. When you have the statement axis parallel to the y-axis, unsa atong curve? Opening asa? Upward, downward, left, or right? So either up or down. We do not know yet no kung up or down. So for that case, we try making sense with the given points. We're plotting it first. You have what? Negative 1, 3 halves, or that is 1.5. This one. Negative 1, 3 over 2. Your second point, you have what? Positive 1, 0. This one. Tama? This is 1, comma, 0. And lastly what? Negative 3, 1, 2, 3, negative 1. If you have the following points, what do you think? Ay, positive 1, ay no? Pwede sa pikas. Negative 3. Positive 1, comma, 0. If you have these points, asa inyong opening kaya? Most likely, dili pwede ano yung pag-connect. Tama? Tama matay paana na parabola. Kita nyo? Same as well, with this one, paana. Nasabay? So most likely, dili po pwede paani. So pa, baba. Kita nyo? So we can safely assume now that your parabola may look like this. Tama? So we want to do what? We want to create the equation of your parabola. If the statement parallel to the y-axis, what would be my general equation? X. What's that general equation? AX or CY? AX squared plus DX plus DX plus DY plus F equals 0. Okay? Again, your clue is this one, parallel to the y-axis. That's why we can use this equation. Sometimes, if you're given 3 points, what you can do now is to input the following points to your general equation. Same with what we did in your circle. Remember to nito? Kung daghan kayo siyang equation na mabuhat out of the following points. We do the same. So when your first point is negative 1, 3 halves, you input those values into this equation. I'll get what? A times negative 1 squared plus what? B times negative 1 plus E times 3 over 2 plus F. So E times 3 over 2 plus F equals 0. If I simplify that one, I'll get what? Negative times negative, positive 1. So I'll get 8. This one, D times negative 1, negative D. Plus 3 over 2E or 3E over 2 plus F equals 0. Nakasabay, di ba natin? Substitute lang to simplify. You have 2 more points, we can create 2 more equations. This one. Then your second point is 1, 0. So I'll get A times 1 squared plus D times 1 plus E times 0 plus F equals 0. Simplifying, pila na? A plus D plus F equals 0. Correct? Kita nyo? Nakasabay, did that happen? The last equation would be what? If we have this last point, that is when negative 3, negative 1. We repeat the same process, substitution. So that is A times negative 3 squared plus D times negative 3 plus what? E times negative 1 plus F equals 0. If we simplify this one, ilan eh? This is 9A minus 3B minus E plus F equals 0. So if you can see, ang next step now would be to perform your simultaneous equations. Correct? Medyo hassle. Do you agree? Itong 1 and 2, i-combine them and so on. Tama? But you can go now to your mode 3. You go to your statistics mode. You go to your statistics mode. Remember now that this one should be written in the form of A plus bx plus cx squared equals 5. Masay mo gawas when you go to your mode 3.2, mode 3.3, your statistics mode. To some cycles, katong kung tulo ka choices, you choose mode 2.2. Basta you go to your statistics mode, you locate your statistics mode. A plus bx plus cx squared. Two variables, except one. Napalabas?
Ay, yan yung ganyan.
Again, if you see mode 3.3, you go to mode 3, you press 3 after. Okay? Ang general format na would be this one. To sub-cycle then cx squared lang siya. Plus cx squared. No, not table. You go to statistics mode. O table ang magawas. After you press mode 3.3, ang magawas is what? A table. That would be x, y. Now listen. You can do this one now. You can go to this one if and only if you're given at least 3 points. Again, you can only model your parabola if you have 3 points. 3 points, tama? So for the following points, you enter it here. That would be what? Negative 1, 3 over 2, 1, 0, negative 3, negative 1. Nakasabay? Once you're able to input your points, you press AC or CA. It will clear your screen, correct? Wala na yung sulod? Kasi nakabuhat?
Tapos?
Tell me kasi nakabuhat na?
Easy daw.
You press equal lang. Next na siya.
Hindi pala. Nag-equals ko.
Uy, isa na yung naka-input. Okay na?
Zero.
Pareha sa tawag side ko. Isa na yung okay na.
Master,
Uy,
wala ka talaga.
naka-input na. Isa na yung naka-open. Naka-AC or CA.
Nag-AC professor.
Okay na, so na-clear na. Tama? Now, for Canon models, when you say Canon models, that's your model. If it's Canon, you go to your apps. Your apps is directly sa baba ni Shift. Tama? So if you press apps, sa mo gawas, na-type, type, data, regression, and so on. Klaro? Bosa mo dira. Casio model, you press Shift plus your 1, or that would be Shift plus stat. Shift plus 1.
Paul siya, sir.
Or you look at Shift plus stat. Pangitang stat dira.
Sir, Paul.
Kung Paul, 7.
Ay, wala. Nag-plus. Ay, sir.
Oh, listen, pag plus gani, kamo options ata mo. You press equal. Lahi. Wait lang, saka. Isa-isa lang. Isa lang na model. Shift 1.
Type na yun.
Sir, nanami na sa kanto.
Sir. Sila, wait lang. Isa-isa lang. Good. Good. Kisa'y nakakuha na ng apps. Kisa'y nakakuha na ng apps ng shift 1. Ang magawas is data, tama? Type, regression or reg, correct? What you need to do now is to go to regression. You press reg. Once you press your regression, ang magawas is what? A, B, C. You have X hat, you have Y hat, correct?
Yes.
What we need now would be the following. Your A, your B, and your C. Because those would be now the numerical coefficients. Kita nyo? You press, listen, if you were able to press regression, ni gawas ni, you press A, you press equal. Give me the answer. 1.25. You repeat the process. You go to apps, regression, you press B. Give me the value of B. Negative 0.70. You repeat the process, you give me the value of C. Negative 0.5. Options. Options ang inyo mga kalamputin. For the programmable, katong yellow, plus is ba na? You go to your options. Regression. Baba. Press down. Isa'y nakapagawas? Okay na? Others? Uy, okay na? Now, listen. The following values of A, B, and C, you substitute it here. That would be your equation. This one will become what? 1.25 plus your B is what? Negative 0.75x. What's your C? Your C is negative 0.50x squared equals y. Now listen. If this is your equation, naga-make sense ba ta siya sa atong graph? Because again, naga-model ta. So you make sense po as well. Kahit basic, pwede din mo siya i-change na lang kalita ng y is equals to x. Nasabtan? Nagas nyo? Kaya matik ang hinahatap ang kuting cycle is out of this data, kuwaon niya ni to create your equation. Nasabtan? So if your graph is paani, you change this one to y equals x. Nasabtan? Again, if your opening is left or right, nagets niyo? If it's left or right, you change lang this one. This becomes y tanan equals x. Again, the format is alimang. Pero if downward or upward, okay na din. Kaya di ba ako doon? X squared y. Nasabtan? Now, if you can check with your book, dili siya para sa 4, tama? But you can still rewrite it. What is 1.25 in fraction? What is 1.25? 5 over 4. So I can write this one as 5 over 4 minus. What is 0.75 in fraction? This is 3/4 of x. Minus, what is 0.5 in fraction? 1/2. So 1/2 x squared equals y. I can now multiply both sides by my LCD. What's my LCD? My LCD is what? 4, no? Isa 2. 2 times 2, 4. Therefore, my LCD is 4. If you distribute it to both sides, I'll get what? 5 minus 3x. Tama? Distribute lang. 5 over 4 times 4. What's left is 5. 4 times 3x over 4. I'll get 3x. Kita nyo? This one becomes what? 4 over 2 minus 2x squared equals y. And this one now would be my general equation for napay 4y. Thank you. Equals 4y.
Ano?
Ay, nakasabay? So this one now would be my general equation. If I want to get my standard equation, what do? I perform my completing the. So if I complete this one, I'll get what? Come on na, okay? You do the okay. You broke all terms na na x squared, tama? That is negative 2x squared minus 3x equals what? You transpose lahat ng walang x. So this one is 4y minus 5. Tama? Now, if I want to complete this one, you factor out your negative 2. So negative 2x squared, if I factor it out, what's left? Negative 3x over negative 2, or that is what? Positive 3 over 2x. If I want to complete the square, what do? B over 2. So that is 3 over 2 all over 2 squared. Nasabay? Is equal to what? 4y minus 5 plus this one. Tama? Plus 3 over 2 over 2 squared times negative 2. Simplify, you get what? Negative 2x plus what? What is 3 halves over 2? 3 halves over 2? Sure? 6 over 2? 3 over 4. Divide, denominator times denominator, that is just 3 over 4 is equal to what? What is 3/4 raised to 2? 9 over 4. Tama? Times negative 2. Pila? Negative. Again, 3/4 na yun, tama? 3 over 4. You square it, you'll get what? 9 over 4. You multiply with 2. Negative 9 over 2. Sabay? Again, this is just simply what? 9 over 4. So 9 over 4 times 2, 9 over 2. Okay? Simplify this one. Pila ni? Negative? Negative 9 over 8. 4y. 9 over 2 is 4.5. Correct? O, 9 over 2. 9 over 2 is 4.5. 4.5 plus 5, 9.5. Or that is pila? 19 over 2.
Sir, di ba 3 over 2 over 2 squared times negative 2?
Ah.
Negative 9 over 8, sabi siya sa kanan.
2 times 2, 4 squared. 16 ni. Okay, thank you. This is 16. So this one is 8. So 8 times 5, 40. Plus 49 over 8. Tama? Okay. So this one now would be your not yet standard equation. Tama? What's your standard equation? Remember na dapat walay constant. Walay constant diri, walay constant diri. So in that case, I'll what? I'll factor out 4. What's left would be what? Y minus, what's 49 over 8 over 4?
49.
That would be 49 over 30. 49 over 8 divide by 4, so you'll get 8 times 4. 32 sa denominator. So 49 over 30. And again, bawal ang negative 2 dire. We divide both sides by negative 2, so this becomes what? Over negative. So I'm left with what? X plus 3 over 4 squared. Or simply, this one is just ilan? Ilan eh? Negative. And this one now would be your standard equation for the parabola. Questions?
Ano ba natin?
32, 49 over 8 over 4. So that's 49 over 8 times 1 over 4. You get 49 over 30. What's your question?
Asa ka na sa negative 9?
Okay.
Taas.
This one.
Divide by negative 2. Ay,
3 over 4 squared. So you'll get what? 9 over 16 times 2. So kani, times 2 ka, this one cancels out. 2 over 16 is just what? 1 over 8. Kaya you get 9 over 8. Okay? Then use recycle na lang kung hindi sure ate. Input na, okay? Questions? Wala? Listen, asagin ka ng 4, the values that you were able to get, 1.25, 0.75, 0.5, you can write that one as what? 1.25 is just simply 5 over 4. If you check that one, you input 1.25, you press equal, your cycle will give you the fraction 4. Tama? You input 1.25, you press equal sign. Kung sa'yo mo gawas? Gawas sa table. Ayaw bang statistics? Ayaw bang statistics? Your statistics will not give you in fraction form. You go back to mode 1.
Sir, okay na dili ang fraction.
Dili, kung kailangan na equation, dili pa nang simplify. Mode, you press 1 ang diretso. Bilang 1.25. You rewrite, listen, once you're able to identify this one, if the problem wants you nakaali na 4, you rewrite all the fraction if it's possible. For this case, naka-possible pa siya na 5 over 4, 3 over 4, 1 half. You identify your LCD to rewrite it so that you'll get what? 5 minus 3x minus 2x squared equals 4y. Nasabtan? Then out from that one, if kailangan ng standard equation, you perform what? Completing the squares, so arrive with this one. You may check your book, nasa other methods, tama? Kadto, if you continue that one, you'll still have the same answer. Or the other one is you use your standard equation. So it's up to you, listen. It's up to you kung saan na method yung buhaton. If ipadayon ninyo ni siya, pero magmano-mano magpangita ang values, or you can use this one. I've already given this method. So same way nyo siya buhaton. But in your exam or your quizzes, you present me the table, then identify A, B, and C. Kasabot na ko na nagunsa na mo ana. Sa mode A2. Ay mode A3. Klaro?
So, hindi na yung sulat yung mode.
Actually, kanila, mode A2 table.
Pero, sir, what if hindi siya mode? Like, statistics na lang.
Mode studies. Any questions? Wala? As your assignment, you answer all even numbers. 2 parts man siya, your standard and your generalization. Okay? See you on Wednesday. Again, you answer all even numbers.
Ano, babe?
Pagita ka, parabola.
Ato nasa libro. Ato nasa libro.
Doon ka parts doon. Pagita ka sa libro. Oh, sa libro.
Damn, bro. Yan, mag-send ka niya sila. Sila boss na lang. Mag-ano na yun? Raganas. Raganas! Tama ko! Tama ka lang. Tama ka lang. Kaya ako pa rara. Yan na lang. Ha?